Yo, what's good, YouTubers? My Levonites, welcome back. This is your boy Levon, and welcome to Levon Says, where we spread love, positivity, and motivation all throughout this channel. First, let me say, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you'll always be notified when there's an uploaded video. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about complaining. We're going to be giving the definition of complaining and then breaking that definition down. I think it's important in order for us to move forward in the area of positivity and love and encouragement and inspiration and all those things that Lumile E means. We have to understand what complaining is and how it is that we're doing it. Once we understand the definition of what complaining is and how it is that we complain, that's when we can make a change and, do a 180 in our thinking. Okay? So let's get into this. And in case you didn't know, complaining is a sin. That's just off the bat. Complaining is a sin. Okay? Sin literally means missing the mark or failure. I know you're thinking to yourself, complaining isn't a sin. I mean, who am I hurting? Who am I really hurting when I complain? Well, first of all, you're hurting yourself. See, when you complain, you're choosing a response that does more harm than good. Complaining leads to anger, leads to bitterness. It leads to serious depression. And God doesn't want you hurting yourself, okay? Because what hurts you hurts him. So when you hurt, he hurts. Complaining hurts both of you guys. And your friends and your family. They hear you complaining all the time. All that does is bring them down. Nobody wants to be around someone that complains all the time. It's a downer. Okay? So my point is, complaining hurts far more than just you, but those who hear it and God. And that's not right. Okay? So before we go any further, let's get into the definition of complaining so we can break this definition down. Okay? So that way you'll know that you'll know how to correct yourselves when you start complaining. Complaining is expressing dissatisfaction with a circumstance that's not wrong and about which I'm doing nothing to correct. Okay? Complaining is expressing dissatisfaction. How do you express dissatisfaction? With your mouth. It's expressing dissatisfaction with a circumstance. A situation, an event, a circumstance. That's not wrong. It's expressing dissatisfaction with a circumstance that is not wrong. The circumstance is not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? And about which I'm doing nothing to correct. So let's break that down. First of all, complaining is about things that are not wrong. I know you're like, things that are not wrong. Things that are not wrong. Okay. If the thing is wrong, you express dissatisfaction, right? That's not complaining. It's not a sin to picket an abortion clinic. That's not complaining. It's not a sin to say to your spouse or significant other, look, I think we ought to spend more quality time together. That's not complaining. Complaining is grumbling about the things that aren't wrong. Let that sink in. Telling your spouse or your significant other in a very sincere but stern and somewhat forceful, and by saying, look, we need to spend some more time together. Okay? That's not complaining. That might be a warning, but it's not complaining. Second, it involves that I'm not doing anything to correct the situation. It's complaining to whine about something that you're not doing anything to correct. It's complaining to whine about abortion, but you never picket, you never give a donation, you never write a letter to your congressman or your Federal Reserve. That's complaining when you don't do anything to correct the situation, but you complain about it and it's not wrong. All you do is mumble a bunch of bullcrap under your breath. And there it is. You're complaining right there. A situation that's not wrong, but you fail to do anything to correct it. Is it complaining to talk about your husband's lack of time with the children? You're talking about your spouse's lack of time, but you're talking about it with the kids. It's not complaining when you talk with your spouse and together y'all reach a conclusion, a compromise, a constructive solution. See the difference? You're talking about your spouse and his lack of whatever with the children, rather than talking to your husband about his lack of whatever the situation is, and you guys coming to a compromise and a workable solution. Okay? Talking about him to others is complaining. Talking to him or with him about the situation of the greater goal for an understanding, for a greater compromise, and coming to a constructive solution, that's not complaining. Okay? So, according to the definition, complaining involves circumstances, situations, events. Please note, complaining does not involve people. Criticism involves people. Complaining involves circumstances. Specific situations that we dislike because of how it affects something or someone that we value. Okay? So finally, complaining involves expressing dissatisfaction. Some people pride themselves on verbal control. Okay? They say, I don't never complain. I never have anything to complain about. Not a peep comes out of my mouth. Recognize that you're simply not living in victory because you got a piece of duct tape over your mouth. Okay? That doesn't mean you're victorious because you just walk around and you just shut up and say, I don't never had a complaint. I don't never say nothing. I don't never complain about anything. That's not victory. But what about your heart? What about your thoughts? So complaining is not just your outbursts of frustration, but it involves things that you think about. To express dissatisfaction in any way, not just verbally, but even in your thoughts. With a circumstance that's not wrong and about which I'm doing nothing to correct. I keep driving that point home because I need you to understand that. To express dissatisfaction with a circumstance that's not wrong and about which I'm doing nothing to correct. That's complaining. In a short term, it separates us from